welcome. My name is James Lee. Thank you for clicking on this video. I don't know if you're here on accident or maybe on purpose. Today what I'm talking about is potentially unsubscribing, or not unsubscribing, but not donating more money to the Young Turks, or TYT. They're a big progressive news. They say they're the largest internet news company of all time, I think. I don't know how they measure that, but they're pretty big. So 5 million subscribers, something like that. Or 4 or 5, something along those lines. So pretty ginormous. But I'm thinking about not donating any more money to them. Well, actually, I can't do that right at this moment. It's a little bit, I'm being a little bit over dramatic because I think I'm locked in for at least another month. I think I just renewed on accident, and I'm locked in. So that's how they get you. But I'm thinking about doing it because, well, let me just show you why. Let me show you this piece on their channel here. They had this story that came out a few days ago, just titled, "Racist Karen Backpedals. I blacked out and I didn't know what I was saying." Okay, so we've all been there, kind of, right? Blacked out, didn't know what you were saying. Hopefully you weren't saying racist things. So essentially this story, what they essentially do is they cover this woman from the South, and she's saying all kinds of horrible things to protesters. She's protesting the protests. She's, raising the Confederate flag, talking about the KKK, saying that she hates black people and she's going to teach her kids to hate black people. There's all kinds of obscene, horrible stuff. The thing is, my problem is, I think these stories show a lack of compassion towards people. I know she's super racist and everything, but she's not an elected official. She's just a person who has these certain beliefs. She was raised a certain way. She's not a well-informed person, so it's super easy to dunk on her. And the mainstream news does this all the time. They point out these stories of how people in the South or people in the Midwest are like partying during the coronavirus and they're being stupid and that kind of thing. Those are easy stories to do because those are misinformed people. They're just, it creates no value for me to see these type of stories. And I don't want to donate $10 a month to see this because it doesn't really make me more educated, and there's no exchange of ideas. You're just saying this person is dumb, they deserve to lose their jobs, blah, blah, blah. I don't have a problem with putting these videos, putting these videos online, shaming people, because I think in a lot of ways it helps people change. I think it helps make them realize that what they're doing is wrong, and ultimately their behavior is improved. So I don't have no problem doing that. Man, this hair is insane. I haven't had it cut since quarantine started, which is months ago now, because I don't have to go to work, so I'm just letting it grow out and see what happens. But I digress. And that's fine. I think that's all good for Twitter and Reddit, but news, not really. I would like to see them talk about, okay, so she's saying this stuff, what about what has led, what are the conditions in her community and neighborhood that manifests in this type of behavior? I would love to see them figure that out, because what we have today online, what I'm trying to do with this channel here, my own personal 5149 channel, is to not have this this is actually not great for the algorithm, because people love being like, I'm a progressive, I'm on the left, I'm on the right. They love that, and they don't, they like being a part of a team, because we all like doing that. We like being Eagles fans, or like being Giants fans, and these kind of things. So it's really hard to actually go out there and say, no tribes, we're just going to look at the issues. And the problem with tribalism, to me, is that I think it creates a situation where one side or another, oftentimes right now it is the left, I'm not going to consider myself the left, but the left considers themselves to be morally superior to people on the right. They think the right, they're bigots, and they don't know what they're intolerant people and that kind of thing. But I don't know if that's it. I saw this thing actually, Pew Research, saying that a lot of Democrats or identified Democrats won't date a Trump supporter or won't date a Republican, but that's not true the other way. So I think maybe there's this thing that the left is tolerant of ideas they agree with, but are intolerant of ideas that don't jive with their worldview. And I think that's something to self-reflect on, or at least that's what I'm trying to do. Because the problem with this labels, okay, so let's say I say I'm a progressive. What does that mean? TYT, home of the progressives. Doesn't mean a lot, because they're just terminologies that we don't know how to define them, because person like Neera Tanden, who's the most neoliberal consultant, DC, Washington, this type of political consultant hack, what they do, literally on her Twitter bio, it says progressive on there. So that moniker doesn't really mean anything anymore. What I'd love to see more is talking about specific things. It's we are the home of Medicare for all, or we support the Green New Deal or free colleges. Like, those ideas are very specific. Like, I support Medicare for all. I want people to have healthcare. We can actually have a debate around that. But if you just see, oh, someone's a progressive or someone has a D or R next to their name, a lot of times it tunes you out because there's no exchange of ideas. In general, people are more willing to listen to your ideas if you're open to listening to their ideas. And the problem that's created with these tribes is that we don't really listen to each other's idea. We think our idea is the best idea. So it doesn't create any room for any exchange of ideas, which totally sucks, because I think what we're seeing is, like, people agree on a lot of different ideas. Even states like Oklahoma have legalized possession of marijuana. They're talking about expanding Medicare and Medicaid, that kind of thing. Those are progressive ideas, but Oklahoma hasn't voted for a Democrat probably in like 50 years in terms of, like, at least at their statewide level. I'm sure Democrats have won, some seats locally, but in general, they're a red state. I mean, and discussing this just right now, it has me torn a little bit, because I love TYT. I grew up on TYT. That's how I got into politics and listening to them and covering the Bernie Sanders campaign in 2016. People like Cenk I admire a lot, because he's willing to go out there and call out people in power, which is what we need. We don't need people like dunking on average Americans. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of times I feel like I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Or, like, people just we don't know what we're talking about a lot of times, because we're misinformed. We're just trying to learn more things. And so it's easy to make us the target, and it's cheap, it's clicks, it's not helpful. I don't really learn anything from that, so that's why I kind of don't want to give $10. But like I said, I'm going to think about this a little bit more, because I'm locked in for another month. Let me know what you think. If you're a TYT supporter, I would love to get your take on this, because on one hand, I love these. I admire the work they do a lot, but I just don't. These stories are just not. I don't want to pay $10. I mean, I'll stay subscribed, but I don't want to pay $10 a month to see that, because I do like Cenk. I do like Anna, I do like John. They're all really good people. Some, people that, if I, in 10 years, I'm like, a 10th successful compared to these guys, then I would consider myself to be pretty lucky, I would say. Anyway, my name is James Lay. My channel is 5149. I talk about things related to business and politics, but I try to do it in a non-tribal sort of way. I'll talk about companies, I'll talk about different policies and things that are happening with the world, but I won't do this kind of left-right type of moniker and naming. So if you're into that, please like this video, and also please subscribe to my channel, because as a small independent voice like mine, your support goes a long way. So I really appreciate that. And as always, appreciate you for being here, and I appreciate your time.